Hi there, Aries. Happy February and upcoming Valentine's Day. I hope the month is off to a wonderful start for you guys. This reading will cover approximately the mid portion of February and the latter portion of February. Of course, energy is fluid, so there's no sort of cutoff date or anything like that to how far this energy sort of expands into, okay? I'm tuning in for you, Aries. Aries, I'm sensing that this is a period for you of dissemination, of discovery, of peeling back the layers almost to something that perhaps has been under wraps. This could be a part of yourself. This can be something that maybe was set aside, right, for quite some time, that you're now sort of opening the box, right, brushing the dust aside. And I have this vision of sort of someone peering through a telescope up at this night sky, right, in wonder, in true wonder, right, in true intended sort of enchantment, kind of like the Fool card that we see in the Major Arcana, right? The very first step that's taken on a brand new path forward, right? One where we have absolutely sort of no expectations, but all of the sort of open-mindedness required to embark on that journey in such a way that allows us to pursue a path that speaks to our soul personally, right? So I'm sensing this is an very intuitively connected period of time for you, Aries, okay? This is one in which you are listening to your inner voice. You are consulting that that side of yourself that requires the patience, the solitude, maybe even, and just the stillness of mind, the stillness of the rational, intellectual mind, right? Setting aside logic and really giving your soul the chance to dream, and your mind therefore as well, right? By way of the soul's direction and intent in a way. So, and before I started your reading, I was particularly drawn to my amethyst stone, which depicts a sense of wonder, dreaming, right? Endless possibilities, looking off far into the horizon, right? Into the future even, and peering into not only that future, but also our souls, right? By way of that. So I'm sensing that there's a merging of your physical being, your physical existence, and that which is not tangible, that which comes really from your intuitive guidance. Okay, so I'm sensing there's a coming together of multiple aspects of yourself, okay, in a way that's new, very new and exciting, okay? So let's actually get to the cards here, but I wanted to mention that, as it was an energy that was coming through quite strongly. There is a clearing house of some sort as well, it seems, okay? With this new journey, with sort of the inhalation, right, comes before it the exhalation, and after it the exhalation. So it's breathing fresh air into sort of an otherwise stuffy room, right? One where the windows were closed, where right, it was just, there was stagnant energy. I'm sensing that room, the door to it has now been opened, and you are reacquainting yourself with that, I'm sensing, part of yourself, okay? I'm sensing a lot of soul growth, okay? And this could be happening significantly through dreams as well. That's what I'm getting, okay? I'm getting a lot of transfer of energy, recalibration of some sort in your, in almost a meditative state, okay? Something, we'll see it in the cards, but almost done here. This one wants to come out. Two of Wands. Decisive action, clarity of intent, and action forward, okay? There's clarity now in some shape or form with, it seems, where you're placing your efforts and your energy. Temperance. Speaking to definitely this fire element that we're seeing in the Two of Wands, but a tempering of that fire, a wisdom with which, right, we channel our fire energy. This one wants to slide out as well. Hierophant, beautiful. Aries, I believe the Hierophant has come in for you in a number of readings. Definitely so, I believe, the first quarter moon reading that I did. I remember the Hierophant, I think, for Aries, okay? So listening to that intuition, listening to that inner guidance, right? Really heeding that inner voice that speaks to our sort of soul's knowing, right? There's a key on this card, the key representing knowledge, but not sort of a factual knowledge, more a intuitive knowledge and knowing, okay? So I'm sensing you're harnessing your fire energy. Perhaps this is something that you weren't for a while doing, right? Seems to be reacquainting yourself with that part of yourself. Aries being a very fiery sign, right? It is a fire sign. But it's the very first in the zodiac. So, bustling with fire energy in a way that is very pioneering, enterprising. And so you are, it seems, oh yes, Aries, look at this. The Emperor upright, the Mother of Cups upright. There's a maturity and a wisening up of your, I'm feeling this sort of, the alchemy, right? The alchemy. And Sagittarius got the Mother of Cups as well. there is a wisening up, a rechanneling, and a reacquainting with your elements, with your fire, it seems, and one that speaks to a sort of otherworldliness, a very intuitive connectedness that we have with our intuition, with our emotions, with our creative vision, okay? And that's bringing you groundedness. You are stabilizing. You are stabilizing your fire energy with Temperance and the Emperor. Oh, definitely so. Definitely so. Beautiful, Aries. It seems you're on a track now with that. Okay? Stepping into your element, but in a way that also regards, right? Everybody's comprised of all the 4 elements to a certain degree, right? Also depending on the birth chart, of course. But foundationally, at the base of it, in essence, everybody has these 4 elements embedded in their sort of soul essence. And so it seems that you are tapping into the harmonization and the cooperation between fire energy, impetus, action, enterprising, courage, will, passion, drive, creativity, vision, and one that is guided by intuition, one that is handled and treated and harnessed with emotional wisdom, maturity. Beautiful, Aries, beautiful. Let's get right into it here. This is exciting, guys. Wow. Happy to see this. I am really, because it seemed for a while you were at a crossroads. I know we visited that theme in the, I believe, new moon reading and general February and first quarter moon reading. There was a sense of needing to, being sort of on, having one foot on one planet, so to speak, and another foot on another, right? And feeling divided, right? How do I proceed? How do I really regain and stabilize my sense of balance and stability? So beautiful. I think that you have come, yes, Aries. Look at that. The Tower in reverse. Oh, the Ace of Wands up right in your current state. Look at you. Look at you. Okay. Okay. The Moon in reverse. Okay. Wow. Yep. Okay. Alrighty here. Aries. Let me get a feel for the elements at play here before we step into it. Right off the bat, Aries, you have a number of major arcana. You have Temperance and the Hierophant, which popped out in the very beginning. You have the Emperor. You have Justice, the Tower, and the Moon. Okay, you have 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcana. So, yes, this is a transformation and a progression of energy that is speaking to your being on a macro level, the stage, right? This is a big turning point for you guys, and it's coming into your own. It's aligning with your purpose. It's speaking your truth. Yes, acting based on your truth in a way that is emotionally sound, per how you truly feel intuitively, right? Acting from a place that's emotionally mature, that regards our compassion, our sense, even compassion towards ourselves, right? It goes both ways. So, okay, Aries, in your deep past, Justice in reverse, with the Tower in reverse, in your recent past, you were undecided for a period of time on how to make this jump, happen, on how to make this transformation happen. Okay, you weren't quite, you were moving through the fog in some shape or form. You were unable to see clearly, have the impetus, the will to sort of make that final taking down of the tower, taking down of falsity, illusion, stepping out of situations that did not help promote our ultimate truth, right? That inhibited us from growing in a positive way, from aligning with our truth of purpose, right? The tower speaks of a situation, a predicament, even a thought pattern, a behavior, an environment or a situation that we've put into place, or that we've been enveloped in, that inevitably, right? Because at its core does not ultimately promote our best potential, our best future self, so to speak, will come down, must be removed, done away with, right? And I'm sensing there was a resistance to that transformation and change in some shape or form. Either you weren't able to clearly delineate, the need. You weren't, okay, I'm sensing that you knew that this needed to happen, Aries. You knew in your heart of hearts, so to speak, that the tower needed to come down, right? But the way by which you were to do that, or the strength, the strategy that would be taken to make that final fall of this tower, was unclear for you in some shape or form, or you simply did not sort of have the boldness of strike to do it, the push, right, the impetus to do it. So that was in your past, okay? And it seems you have definitely risen from whatever the situation is. There was a turning around, absolutely changing the way that things have been done for a long period of time. You have decided once and for all to put this cycle to an end. Okay, whatever this situation was that was not working for you and you knew it, you finally decided to take action towards control of the situation, right? Regain control of your actions, and in such a way that really helps you in a positive, healthy way, right? And brings true movement, right? Wands speaking to the fire element, speaking to action, movement, change. Fire is a very dynamic, spontaneous energy. It moves quickly, right? It's sort of intended to get the ball rolling, right? But the harnessing of fire energy, right, can be efficient, it can be effective, it can be well channeled, or it can grow wildly out of control and really ultimately lead to destruction of whatever you're trying to harness or bring into fruition. As we sort of see with the tower, ironically, right, fire can also, like I just mentioned, lead to destruction if not channeled effectively and efficiently, which in some cases needs to happen, right? So it has its place, it has its purpose, right? Depending on the situation, every element is multifaceted and has its different applications. But I'm sensing that in terms of your actual path forward, as it regards your day in, day out energy, right? The patterns of behavior and action, the way to which we've become accustomed, right, to perform the day in and day out activities, rituals, whatever it may be, right, for a period of time was not effective, and you are now turning around from that inefficiency into the true rebirth of your strategy and tactic and mindset towards taking action. There is a burst of freshness, right? A sort of opening of perception, right, of an awareness of even your own fire element, right, so to speak. Like, I have this fire, I can harness it positively in a way that helps me grow, right, actually move forward, right, instead of remaining stagnant in chaos in a situation that doesn't ultimately help create movement and flow in a positive way. So you're regaining harmony, you're regaining balance of that fire element. You're now moving in a very solitary direction, right? There is an enthusiasm, there's a passion, there's a vision, there's a vigor. You're definitely invigorated with whatever this rebirth and revival is, okay? Absolutely. You have the Ace of Wands and you have the Two of Wands right here that popped out at the very sort of pinnacle, the crown of your reading. So yes, you're regaining control, Aries. You're regaining control. And this is beautiful to see for you yet again, because you are Aries, the fire sign, the very first fire sign. Okay? In your advice position is the Ten of Swords. Now, this position can also refer to an energy that, when indulging in it, it can either help or hinder us, right? Or simply it can be a sort of advice of the energies at your disposal to move forward with. I am sensing, because you have the Ten of Wands and you have very transformational energy in your recent past, and it seems surrounding you up top. This is the closing out, the final closing out of the sort of intellectual realm and habit patterns that accompanied whatever the situation was, right? You're now redefining the way that you act, right? The way that you perform your actions in terms of this rebirth. But I feel that there's also the sort of rationalization, the synapses that happen in our mind, our intellectual mind, right? The way that we rationalize and think through things needs to be reconfigured as well. Okay, I'm sensing that it's now you're changing your habits, your actions, your patterns, but it's also important to uproot, right, and rediscover too the sort of mental side of it. Okay, now in your near future, you have the Nine of Swords in reverse. I'm sensing that absolutely you are going to be doing that, okay? You are going to be turning that situation around as well, that which regards your intellectual perception of your life, really, okay? The thoughts that are sort of the preemptive stage before our actions, right? Air being the sort of idea generation phase that precedes action and implementation of those ideas that leads to ultimately manifestation and fruition. So I'm sensing, right? You will be rewiring your brain, rewiring your mind in terms of approach to this new beginning. Absolutely, okay? Doing away with this nine of swords energy. I'm sensing there was a heavy mental sort of anguish or even sort of experience that accompanied this past situation before this rebirth took place, okay? And you're now sort of digging through the archives, doing away with it, removing what no longer serves you, reinventing your approach in every way, it seems, Aries. Beautiful energy here for you, okay? Now, in your hopes and or your fears, that can oftentimes be one and the same, right? What we fear, we can kind of hope for. What we hope for, we can also kind of fear, is the moon in reverse. Okay, the moon upright speaks to a period of introspection, of even curiosity, right? Even connecting to your sense of intuition, right? But it's a period of mystery, right? Not knowing, having the answers, being in the dark a little bit, right? Kind of the feeling that I'm getting here with these two cards in reverse, the Tower and the Justice card. Okay, the feeling like you're in murky waters, not knowing, feeling almost like you can't trust your intuition. Okay, so I'm sensing that maybe, and because it's in reverse, your fear could be, perhaps, it could be two things, right? It could be seen sort of either way. The moon in reverse is speaking to the desire to step out of that previously. Maybe, I'm sensing that in the past you weren't really aligning with your intuition, okay? And so you could be fearing, right, the sort of that feeling of not knowing again, right? The sort of oscillation. The moon is a very oscillating force. It's very volatile. It's very, but at the same time, cyclical, right? Volatility that's almost expected, order within chaos. So I'm sensing that. I'm sensing that you may be fearing, right? Fearing that in light of your attempt to achieve and stabilize a sense of groundedness and this revival of spirit, you fear maybe slipping back into this not knowing, this well, what do I really feel, sort of thinking again. You may be, but you know what, I'm really not feeling that. What I'm feeling is that you are hoping for actively to do away with that introspective sort of period of not knowing, of feeling not firm, not grounded, and not stable in our sort of intuitive outlook, right? Which it seems you are absolutely stepping away from, right? That period of sort of not knowing. Hierophant upright, temperance upright, Emperor upright, Mother of Cups upright, leading out with the Daughter of Wands, having a Ace and an Ace of Wands at that in your current state with the Two of Wands up top. Aries, you are absolutely, this is, I'm sensing, falling right out and away. Okay, this period was just a period of time. It was temporal. It was not, it was linked to this phase here. It was linked to this phase here. And it was, I'm feeling, due to this resistance to this taking down of the tower, okay? And if you look at these two cards here, let me show you actually. The tower and the moon, they are so similar. So similar, right? The only real difference is you have a moon, the top of the moon card, and you have an extra tree on this card, right? Two trees. So, speaking to kind of, right, the rumination, standing between these two trees, looking up at the moon in the sky, wondering, what do I do? What is the answer? Listening to your intuition, right? Sort of seeking that guidance, that inner guidance. But the tower, right, is like sort of the rude awakening. Okay, it's sort of like the tower right in the middle, the tree right in the middle of these two trees, right? Like, this situation needs to end, right? This is the answer kind of thing, right? And so I'm sensing, right, there's a correspondence between the situation. So whatever this energy is that you are either hoping or fearing has to do with this old phase that it seems you're absolutely stepping out of, okay? But yet again, I'm feeling that it is the pulling out and the doing away, the movement away from the stagnancy of action and thought, that period of time where you weren't, you didn't have a resound sense of sort of initiative and answer, okay? But it seems you're now very clear on that, very attuned, very in line with your intuition. Beautiful, Aries. Moving into the Daughter of Wands in your near future, you are on fire, literally. You have fire, 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 fire. And you have, look, Aries, even in the cards in your spread that are not fire cards, you have an element of fire that is somehow altering the state of this other element. What I mean is, okay, well, this is a fire card. This is wands, but there's extra fire. There's a lightning bolt, right? Speaking to the reinvigoration of otherwise stagnant manifestation of fire energy and potential, perhaps, okay? But as I was saying, right? Swords, typically speaking to air, right? Speaking to the air element, speaking to thoughts. But at the very sort of pinnacle of this card, take a look at this card, is what looks like a ball of fire, right? With a sort of circular shape, almost like the moon. Speaking of sort of the fusion between fire and intuition, okay? Yes. You are listening to your intuition, and your actions are following. Your actions are, you're working. Those two energies are working in unison for you, okay? It seems during this month, Aries. So, okay, wielding that fire energy, and in a way that has a very clear direction, not just sort of a strategic direction, not just a sort of enthusiastic direction, but one in which you are wielding and channeling that energy in such a way that is very much on a path of movement, and one that places you in a position of feeling very stable and grounded in your personal identity as sort of you fuse these elements. Meaning, it's sort of like, again, you're stepping into your element, you're stepping into your own, you're coming forward, you're saying, yes, this is who I am, this is what I want to do, even if it is just within yourself, right? Even if it's not necessarily publicized, even if it's just you feeling grounded within yourself as who you truly feel yourself to be, okay? And it seems, though, that you have a direction with it. It could be a creative direction, right? Pouring your creative energy into a certain project of some sort, okay? But you're taking all of this excitatory, fresh start sort of energy, and you're channeling it into a direction that that I'm sensing is tied to the long term in some shape or form, okay? Or it could just be simply, yet again, your sense of identity, right? Your sense of identity, a newfound way of looking at yourself, right? Of acting, of behaving, a rediscovery and a redefining of your persona, Aries. Beautiful. Okay, now moving up into your environment position, you have the 8 of Wands, speaking to a shakeup in your environment. Okay, this card generally speaks to like something coming along rather unexpectedly in such a way that causes us to either change our perception of the way that we work. It can even be sort of an inspiring energy, right? And it's overlaid this 2 of Wands. So it could be that a particular situation or event will be the sort of impetus to your to this new beginning, to this this very pioneering first step forward. Okay, so it could be something in your environment that is rather unexpected that happens, that causes you to take the stand and redefine the way that you're doing things. Okay, moving into your energetic sort of pathway that you're moving into is the 2 of Swords in reverse. Okay, in reverse. And let me tune in here. We have it right above Temperance. Right above Temperance. A lot of energy here, Aries. You have me talking faster than my mouth can. So let's see here. On this card, we're seeing fusion between air and fire, yet again, right? We're seeing thoughts, we're seeing the clarity of action, the clarity of decision making, but in such a way, yet again, that consults our inner fire, our inner flame, our inner purpose, our drive, our truth, right? Our authenticity of self, so to speak, and our intellectual faculties, and most importantly, our intuition. I'm getting that strongly on this card, okay? And it's overlaying Temperance. So Aries, I'm sensing that, and take a look here, you have a 2 of Wands upright, and you have a 2 of Swords in reverse. Energetically, let me tune in here. Interesting. So many themes of two, right? Even on the moon card, right below that, Two of Swords is a depiction of two trees with sort of this moon-like figure right in the middle. Definitely a moon on the moon card, but what looks like a new moon on the Swords card. Two things, Aries, that this can represent. I'm sensing that it can be, see, because we're moving from fire to air, right? You had fire energy, the 10 of Wands, moving into the Ace of Wands with the 2 of Wands and the 8 of Wands in your environment, to sort of air, thoughts, logic, and analytical sort of processes with the 10 and the 9 in reverse. So, and that's the energy that you're moving into also in your near future, right? This is your advice card, and then you're following up with air energy in your near future, and energetically, you're moving into the reversed 2 of Swords. So we're seeing a cascading effect of these elements, as we see here up top in your sort of past and moving into current state, the reverse 10 of Wands, so they're doing away with an old phase, moving into a new phase. And so I'm seeing the same sort of pattern here with air, with thoughts, with logic. So there's a unison between, yet again, actions and thoughts, theory, abstract, vision, and action, impulse, initiative, creation, manifestation, okay? So you're going from a 10 to a 9 to a 2. Okay, upright. Let's look at this card upright. It usually depicts sort of the need to make a decision as it regards our logical mind, right? Now, it also speaks, though, to a sort of inability to decipher exactly. There's a lack of clarity to this card in some sort of way, right? And so, right, one that we don't see on this 2 of Wands. This 2 of Wands is very clear, is very descriptive, is very focused and funneled, well channeled, right? Energy, fire energy. But this 2 of Swords, I mean, I hope you can see that. The way that these swords are sort of opening, right? They're not coming close to a point, they're opening. And right in the middle is this ball of fire that yet again symbolizes and resembles the moon, our intuition. So I'm sensing that this is a question for you, this was a question for you of how to effectively and strategically channel your fire and water energy together, which again, it seems like you absolutely are. So because you have so much strong fire energy and so much enterprising, entrepreneurial energy even, right? Taking the stand, taking the actions forward, and being very resound in our sense of emotional outlook, and one that consults and is guided by our intuition. I'm sensing that this was a previous state that was associated with the moon card, that was associated with, in turn, with justice and the Tower in reverse. This situation yet again. I'm sensing that you are energetically letting these swords fall out, going from the 10 to a 9 to a 2. You now know, you now are guided rather intuitively instead of intellectually on how to properly channel, effectively channel your fire energy with your intuition. okay? Your sensitivity with your more ardent sort of nature that is inherent to Aries, right? Generally. So I'm sensing that this was a period of rumination, of question, of yet again not knowing, trying to approach this sort of path that you knew you inevitably needed to embark on, right? In a way that was kind of guided by your intellect or your logic, trying to rationalize your way through it, which again speaks to the Justice card. The Justice card, right? There's a sword that's cutting right down in between these two cats, speaking of the need to make a clear decision, oftentimes sort of in reference to our intellectual rational mind, right? So again, we're revisiting the sword theme. We're revisiting the sword theme, and what is so interesting, Aries, is that in these two cards in your past, you have one sort of central figure, right? Here being the sword, here being the tree. Now, what's very interesting is when we're moving into your near future, you have the duplication of your reading is moving backwards almost, which seems that's what you need to do. You need to it's like when a change, right? When you're changing something, you need to first change your perspective, right? Like, okay, I know this situation isn't good for me. I want to now look in this direction and move in on this path, right? That's the first step, making that change of perception, of vision and thought. But it's the inner workings and the undercurrent of patterns and behaviors that were once attached to this previous situation or way of being, this previous path, that we need to revisit, that we need to go through, kind of like that box, right? That box in the attic that has just, dust every way about it, and it's the reopening of that box, the reopening of your soul, of your being, really reacquainting yourself with yourself, seeing how did I manifest my energy before, how did I wield my fire energy, was it effective for me, was it not, and then redefining, going into the period of redefining that, right? Redefining the way that we want to now channel that energy and potential. And similarly, right, then thinking about how did I use my air energy? How did I wield my intellectual faculties and mind? Did that work for me? Was that conducive for me on my path and truth forward? So this is sort of like the turning point was made, right? The change occurred. There was an awakening of some sort in your mind that you realized, I am now aware of where I've been and where I want to go, right? And where I am now in the context of those two worlds, so to speak. And now I know intuitively, I'm resound on that sort of decision, so to speak, or that vision and that intent to move in a certain direction, right? And so upon making that change of perception and perspective and vision and intent, we now, it seems, are turning towards the sifting through and the reinvention, right, of old patterns and ways of thinking, doing, behaving, feeling, regarding how we're feeling, sort of progression. Okay, so this is like the necessary aftermath sort of thing, kind of like this when you move into a new home, right? You're bringing all your boxes with you into this new home. But there's a period of needing to open up the boxes, go through what you need to go through, right? And reassemble in this new home, right? Where these pieces or belongings go, where you want them to go now in this new environment, in this new home, right? But inevitably, it's that period of needing to unbox the contents of ourselves. That's what I'm feeling for you, Aries. And that's just beautiful. This is a beautiful, beautiful stage for you guys. A huge turning point, a major transformation, a wisening up, a reacquaintance with yourself in some shape or form. And this is happening for quite a few signs. Okay, so collectively it seems we are going through this period of transformation. Okay, one that that propels us more in a direction of truth, right? And a resilience of character, right, that speaks to our authentic selves. So, Aries, I'm sensing, yet again, this is the sort of undoing, the final undoing of a phase of unclear, sort of ambiguity of decision, right, that accompanied this phase, right, of how do I use my skills in a way that are truly effective, right? But taking, again, the intellectual rational approach. You're now setting down those two swords. There is no longer a murkiness that regards your intuition and that guidance as you move forward on this process, okay? Down with the two swords, down with the inability to make a decision, up with the action and the movement forward in a very clear direction, the positive channeling of your energies, the efficient channeling of your energies, down with this period of rumination, not knowing, right? Illusion, and stepping into your own, Aries. And alas, here in your theme card position, you have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, overlaying the Father of Cups in reverse, and that which is overlaying the Eight of Cups in upright. Okay, I'm thinking that as the theme of your reading, really, right, this all these energies are sort of culminating and surmounting to a point of needing to clean the slate with how we define our sense of stability and groundedness. This is absolutely a theme that we visited in the first quarter moon reading. If you haven't checked that out, absolutely check it out. That sort of speaks to from the new moon period to the first quarter period to the full moon, back to, down in the waning period to the second quarter moon phase, and back to the new moon again. That's the one new moon cycle. And so I'm doing a video for each one of those stages. So it could be helpful, right, to get a sense of the macro lineage of these energies upon which we're sort of, experiencing and riding through, okay? So as your theme, as we saw, I'm sensing also in the new moon, I'm remembering in the new moon and the first quarter moon, you had a major theme that regarded your sense of stability and groundedness. A lot of Pentacle cards, I do remember. So, and this is the Ace, right? This is the desire to really step forward on this new path that redefines the way that we derive our sense of security and stability. And it's very much in line with this Ace of Wands, right? It's the taking of action, the redefinition of sort of our motivations, really. Our motivations, okay? And taking a closer look at that, too, in the hopes of achieve this new journey that will ultimately lead us in the long term to a level of stability and satisfaction. Okay, this could be the turning around of a career phase, of a financial phase, one that regards anything that we contribute to on a long-term sort of basis. Okay, so this is, I'm feeling maybe the eventual shifting of gears in terms of financial, something that deals with finances or career, job, even studies, right? School. So this is a very long-term future-like energy. And so when it's in the Ace position and it's in reverse, it's sort of like the slow relaying the foundation of how we want to move forward with all of this new energy. Okay, and it could, again, be integrating your fire energy and your intuition. So a very creative new approach, one that speaks to your true soul authenticity, your character, your intuition, in that new venture, okay? Now, beneath that, you have the Father of Cups. This could be an individual, and I'm sensing this is going to be different for everyone. This could be an individual who, let's see here, who, hold on, let me tune in. Father of Cups is sandwiched in between 8 of Cups and Ace of Pentacles. Okay, I'm sensing there, okay. Aries, perhaps for some of you, this could apply. There is an individual who either is resisting this new beginning for you in some shape or form, okay? An individual who has caused you a lack of emotional satisfaction with this 8 of Cups, okay? I'm sensing one that perhaps was connected to this old situation and phase. You know what? If this is a person, though, do not let them stop you from moving forward on your journey. Do not let them slow this energy down for you. I'm not feeling that they will. You seem to have a lot of fire and backing behind you. You are in command and in control. You know what you know what you feel, and you're acting on it. You are absolutely acting on it, Aries. Okay, but this could just be some underlying energy that right, is sort of in your midst, maybe, okay? Or in your subconscious, or rather just one that was tied to this past, right? Past energies. Okay. Now, beneath the 8 of Cups, emotional dissatisfaction, you have the reversed Father of Swords. This could be another individual, or this could be sort of... So because you have 2 fathers sandwiching this 8 of Cups. So there could just simply also be a lack of clarity or a misuse of the intellectual mind. This is almost an overpowering sort of expectation of a very intellectual type of person in your midst that is like kind of keeping you in this emotionally dissatisfying situation in the back of your mind, right? Or again, in the past, this was sort of, it was this very strong intellectual energy that was holding up this stagnant, unsatisfying sort of emotional bank. Okay, and you wanted to rise above that. You wanted to rise above that situation. You wanted to be free from this heavy energy, right, that wasn't working for you. And you wanted to take this fresh new start. The Fool. The very first major arcana, right? So, yes. But you're on that road. You run with it, Aries. You run with it. You harness your fire energy. Okay, it seems you're now, that Fool's upturned and you're moving in. You have the Hierophant sort of shouting over at this theme deck right here, this stack of theme cards rather, okay? Your wisdom is consulting you. Your inner wisdom, your intuition is consulting you as to all of this other stuff that you have to let go of in order to step on this new path, right? This was the past, I'm feeling. This is past energy. Okay, this is stagnant past energy that had to do with the Justice in reverse and the Tower in reverse. This is the new beginning that lies ahead for you. Okay, and it's a matter again of just letting go of this past energy, setting those 10 wands down, redefining yourself and where you stand in relation to your life, really, right? And reinventing yourself. Okay, rediscovering who you are, what you have to offer the world in some shape or form, in such a way that, again, is guided by your intuition. Okay, thank you so much, Aries, for tuning in. I am so happy for you guys. This is beautiful energy to be working with, especially around that full moon period. The full moon is the absolute climax of energy that is bestowed upon us by way of the moon and the sun's dance. So, the energy is rising, and it's very much providing you with a push, an acceleration of energy, okay? I'll be doing a full moon reading for all the signs on February 10th, so stay tuned for that. We'll see how these sort of energies are reaching a sort of peak and point in the process here of the moon. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in, Aries. Also, don't forget to check out your ascendant, rising, or moon sign, as oftentimes those can be even more accurate, if not just as accurate as your sun sign, okay? Or it could just provide some additional info. Now, if you don't know your rising, ascendant, or moon sign, I provide a link in the description box below. You can click it, enter in your birth details. You do need your birth time, though, and an accurate one to have a really accurate answer. Sometimes, though, even if it's a few minutes off, it won't change much, so you can play around with it and see what works for you. All right? Thank you so much again, Aries. Enjoy February. Happy Valentine's Day, and I'll see you later.